What's good? What's good, everybody? Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this situation with Kevin Stefanski, right? A lot of people are calling for Stefanski to be fired. After what happened yesterday, the last play of the game where he called like on some type of running back option, or what does they call it, a RPO or whatever they call it. And the play just, they had to go for two because of his decision making earlier. He decided to go for two, didn't get the two. And so instead of being able to tie it with a field goal, they had to go for two right at the end of the game. And then he took Shador Sanders off the field when Shador had just carried them down, to get a score. And so everybody was like, look, if he was good enough and competent enough to drive us down the field and get us a score, then that's the guy we want to stick with. But they pulled him off. They tried some type of trick play, and it blew up in his face. And so everybody around, you know, um, social media and in the media in general, is saying that this guy, the play was bull, and he should be fired. And one of the people that really want him out of there is Skip Bayless, right? And so I was listening to Skip Bayless really went in on him. Um, so much so that I'm going to play the audio from his show, and then I'm going to come back and I'm gonna give my reaction because Skip Bayless was hot. I don't know if Skip had some money riding on it or what, but he was hot. So here we go with Skip.
Kevin Stefanski must be fired. I'm going to say it again and again and again. Kevin Stefanski did not want Shador Sanders, didn't even want him in the fifth round. Kevin Stefanski has done everything in his power to keep Shador Sanders from succeeding in Cleveland as a fifth round pick against all odds. Even yanking Shador again for the potential tying 2-point conversion, going with the Wildcat. It was a disaster after Shador had shown again and again he's the answer in the red zone for the Cleveland Browns. Shador Sanders just played by far his best game as a pro. He just threw for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns and led the Browns in rushing and scored a rushing touchdown from 7 yards. Clutch, clutch, clutch. Just led an 80-yard drive in 7 plays to put them within striking distance, 31-29. Tying 2-point conversion after he had just thrown a short touchdown pass, a beautiful fade rainbow to the rookie Fannin to get the score to 31-23. He just showed you again and again what he can do. He's who Cleveland has been looking for, as he said before his first.
So let me stop it right here, right? Because when you have a quarterback who put up 300 yards, and then you take him off, like this, Stefanski is like really outsmarting himself. I've never seen a coach do anything like that. Take your starting quarterback out when he having so much success, and not only is he having success, he's in a rhythm, and it's a situation where you really need him. You dealing with a guy in Shador Sanders, a kid who has so much confidence. If he got you to this point, like, he is your best option. I can see if you brought in a quarterback who was better at, he was their best option. He got him there, and Stefanski should have allowed him to finish or let him see what he could do. The play that they did run, I forgot what Skip just called that play, running back option or whatever they call it. The guy who had the ball forgot to hand the ball off. Then he threw a wild pass across the field, or a desperate pass. You wouldn't have got that from Shador. Not saying that the play would have been successful, but if it was a running play, he would have, he would have handed the ball off. if it was meant for him to throw, he would not have panicked and threw it across the field. So you'd have had a better chance with a guy who's qualified to be out there than somebody who, who's out there in a clutch situation running a trick play. That just was so crazy. And that's why you have so many people calling for this guy, Stefanski, to be fired. And so let me get back to some more of what Skip is saying.
In Las Vegas, and Kevin Stefanski did it again. Kevin Stefanski just cost the Browns a tie, maybe an overtime. I don't know. The way Shedeur was operating, they surely would have won the game somehow, some way, because that's what Shedeur does. Shedeur just completely outplayed Cam Ward. I'm going to say it again. I said it before the draft. The Tennessee Titans should have taken Shedeur Sanders #1 overall. I like Cam Ward. I love Shedeur Sanders.
I'm going to say I like Cam Ward too. I watched Cam Ward. I like what I see out of him. But Shedeur Sanders, man, his confidence level, and then on top of that, like not just his confidence level, but the energy he brings to the team. This guy, he inspires not only the offense on the team, but the defense. So the defense know that they're going to get an opportunity to rest. They're not going to be, more often than not, they're not going to be right back out there trying to protect the lead, and they're going to get wore down. Yeah, Stefanski put himself, no matter who told him to do that, if ownership told him to do it, if he made his own mind up to do this, he really put himself behind the 8 ball with this move right here. But he will definitely have to fall on the sword for this one.
The whole package. He's playing for a sorry football team that played a sorry football game today, and Shedeur lifted them up out of the snow and nearly pulled it off by himself. I don't know what more you could ask of Shedeur Sanders against all odds. Cam Ward just threw for 117 yards on 14 of 28. He threw a couple of touchdown passes, one early. He's not bad. He's pretty good, but he ain't Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns, when I least expected it, allowed 184 rushing yards to the 1-11 Tennessee Titans in Cleveland.
But see, all right. And you know what? And I'm not mad at the Cleveland Brown defense, because most of the time, the Cleveland Brown defense, they hold up. They pretty solid for most of the time. And then that's what I'm saying. It's a team effort. Sometimes when the defense need the offense to either stay out on the field longer or go down and get a score, then you gotta have the personnel. You gotta have the people who can do that. And it seems like now, Stefanski had a perfect opportunity. The defense need to be bailed out, and you had a guy in Shedeur who was more than capable of doing that. And then so you hurt the whole team. You throw the defense under the bus. It's like they look for, or Stefanski just look for different ways to lose. And this guy is like a 2-time coach of the year. That award right there really don't have any I don't know, it don't look like it's had too much credibility, man. When you give this guy's a 2-time coach of the year, and then he making these kind of plays, I'm like, these accolades is just crazy. But let me get back to Skip Bayless is hot. He peeved about this situation.
84 rush yards. You're going to lose at home if you do that, and they finally did. 31-29. The Tennessee Titans just won again. They're 1-11 because in the end, Dylan Sampson, the rookie out of Tennessee, fumbled, trying to do too much. Then the Browns got a punt block in their end of the field, and Tony Pollard, my little man from the Cowboys, just kept running wild. And all of a sudden I look up, and thanks to the fumble and the block punt, it's 31-17 Tennessee. You're kidding. The Browns were 4.5-point favorites. They should have won this game going away, but the defense just didn't show up today. And then
that's crazy for the Browns to be the favorites. Like I said, with their record being as poor as it is, they don't get many opportunities to be the favorite. And then when they are the favorite, like that comes down to coaching. Like the games that you are supposed to win, you can't play down, especially you can't if you only had 3 wins the whole year anyway. What you look like as a team playing down to the competition. So what's going to happen is sometimes when you have a team, they get up for the big games and they play, you know what I mean? They get up for the big games and they play that's when they really motivated and they play better. But when you go to the Titans, a team that only had 1 win, and you play against them and you play down to their level when you're a favorite, that's coaching. That just the coaching. Either you're not prepared, you're not motivated, or something, man, because that is just coaching. And so Kevin Stefanski is taking a lot of heat for that play, deservedly so. I was surprised. I'm looking, and I watched the football game, but I don't have the volume up, so I didn't really pay any attention until I looked just before the play. The ball was snapping. I said, "Whoa, that's not Shador in there." And it was one of those wildcat type plays, man. And I was just surprised. I was surprised. So I didn't get to hear what like the announcers or the commentators said, like I said, because I watched the game with the volume down, but it's just surprising to me. So let me know, man, what y'all think. Do y'all think he should be fired? Y'all think he's going to get fired? If Shador continues to play like this, his stock is rising. And really, with him performing like this, ain't nothing, Cleveland can do or anybody on that staff can do to hold him back now, because the rest of the league seen what this kid can do. They seen it. His stock is rising. Stefanski, his stock is definitely tanking. So yeah, man. And that's all I got on this. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.